Of all the sorcerers, the sorcerers as a class, they draw on their innate magic, the power that they have been granted because of birth or something happening down the line or some omen or something, and it's usually more on the tame side except for wild magic. This one, however, the Reckless Arcana, it delves heavily into the words and things that I'm bringing up, into the dangerous but potentially powerful form of using your own life force to power your spells. Hello, welcome back to DIS. I am this idiot, and you are hearing me speak again. If you have gone this far, you are already hearing me speak, so you can continue on with your lives. Although, if you wish to continue listening to this, let's review this Reckless Arcana Sorcerer. Reckless Arcana. For whatever reason, the innate magic that flows within you is of a heightened and volatile form. Perhaps the power manifested within you originated from a particularly powerful or unstable dimensional rift, or came to be after a life-threatening magic-related accident. Alternatively, your bloodline may have a history of obsessive and dangerous practices that has enhanced their magical power at the expense of their bodies, and you purposely spill your own blood to empower your spellcasting. Magic flows through your body like a torrential flood and is nearly as dangerous to yourself as it is to your enemies. Magic flows with sorcerers with powers so unhinged often lead lives just as volatile, and often perish at young ages in violent accidents or self-sacrifice. Your magic takes a toll on you, and expresses itself in unusual and frightening ways. When you gain the sorcerer's power, you can roll for or choose a quirk for your character that developed with exposure to such volatile magic. Reckless Sorcerer quirks. A D8 of features. For 1, you are unnaturally desensitized to pain. 2, while casting a spell, you become fatigued, out of breath, sore, or have clouded vision. 3, your clothes or equipment all eventually become burned, scarred, or otherwise marked. 4, your hair, eyes, or blood have unnatural coloration and qualities. For example, you could have violent red hair that writhes around your head like flames, thick black blood that sizzles when spilled, or cloudy gray eyes that streak with occasional lightning bolts. 5, when using magic, you feel a burning internal pain. 6, when casting especially powerful spells, you cut yourself non-harmfully, and the spell absorbs blood. 7, your body is covered in tattoos, birthmarks, or scars that occasionally glow when using magic. Or 8, when using magic, you shout or make exaggerated physical movements. Reckless Arcana features. Sorcerer level and feature. At first level, it's Vital Expenditure. At 6th, it's Power Siphon and Arcane Metabolism. At 14th level, it is Volatile Vitality. And at 18th level, it's Maniac's Toll. Variant feature, Origin Spells. You learn additional spells when you reach certain levels in this class, as shown on the Reckless Magic table. Each spell counts as a sorcerer spell for you, but it doesn't count against the number of sorcerer spells you know. These spells can't be replaced when you gain a level in this class. Ask your DM about the use of this feature. Some games or class revisions grant sorcerers additional spells based on subclass, but many DMs will not. Maybe allow the first 5 spells, all 6, or none at all. Reckless Magic, Sorcerer level, and spell. First level is Hellish Rebuke. 3rd level is Mirror Image. 5th level is Fear. 7th is Wall of Fire, 9th is Destructive Wave, and 11th is Disintegrate. Vital Expenditure. When you gain Sorcerer powers at first level, your arcane powers become directly linked to your physical being. You can manipulate the flow of energy around you by sacrificing your vitality. When you make an attack, skill check, or saving throw, you can spend a Sorcerer hit die to add the number roll to your attack, check, or save. Additionally, when forcing a creature to make a saving throw, or as a reaction, when an enemy makes an attack, skill check, or saving throw, you can spend a hit die to subtract the number roll from the enemy's roll. You may choose to add or subtract a hit die roll after rolling the d20, but before knowing if the roll failed or succeeded. That's very cool. Hit die recovery. It is important to remember that a long rest only recovers half of a character's maximum hit dice. Accurately tracking available hit dice is vital to fairly playing a Reckless Sorcerer. Makes sense. Power Siphon. When you reach 6th level, the bond between arcane forces and your physical body becomes stronger and more dangerous. As a bonus action, you can draw on your life force to fuel your arcane power. You can regain sorcery points, but you take 1d6 force damage for each point you choose to regenerate. You can only generate a number of sorcery points equal to your sorcery level in this way before requiring a long rest to recover. Arcane Metabolism. Also at 6th level, you can harness magical energy to hasten your body's regeneration. As an action, you may spend 1 sorcery point and 1 hit die to regain a number of hit points equal to the number rolled plus your charisma and constitution modifiers. Volatile Vitality. At 14th level, you can focus your destructive energy into a powerful blast. As an action, you can spend a number of sorcery points, a maximum of 20, to create an explosive magical attack. The blast is centered on yourself, and each creature in range, excluding yourself, must make a strength saving throw against your spell DC. Creatures take 1d6 of force damage for each sorcery point spent on a failed save, or half that on a success. The blast initially has a 5-foot radius, but for every 5 sorcery points spent, the radius increases by 5 feet, up to a maximum radius of 30 feet. So 20, okay. Additionally, if you channel 5 sorcery points into this blast, targets who fail their strength save are pushed 15 feet away from you. With 10 sorcery points, targets who fail to save are also knocked prone. Finally, if you spend 20 sorcery points, targets who fail to save become stunned until the start of your next turn. Let's see here. You can only use this feature once before a long rest, but you regain the use of this feature after you recover hit points using a hit die. Maniac's Toll. Starting at 18th level, your body releases a surge of wild magical energy when threatened with death. If you take damage that reduces you to 0 hit points but doesn't instantly kill you, you can use your reaction to delay falling unconscious and immediately take an extra turn, interrupting the current turn. During this turn, you are immune to damage dealt to you by Power Siphon, and using metamagic does not cost sorcery points. After you finish this turn, your hit points are immediately reduced to 0 hit points, you fall unconscious, and you instantly fail a death saving throw. The current turn and subsequent turn order then proceeds as normal, and you continue making death saving throws if you remain at 0 hit points by your next turn. Should you survive, you cannot use this feature again until you finish a long rest. Very, very fascinating. And on to the review itself. Pardon me? Reckless Arcana review itself. Reckless Arcana, the story is really interesting. It really delves into the dangers, like innate wild magic that you have brewing within you. The quirks are really fun. They're more flavorful. It would be fun for like have other like subclasses or other classes to like have that or something similar to that. The origin spells, they're very, very powerful, very cool. It makes complete sense. I always say it makes sense, but it makes complete sense for this to like show that you're like your volatility or whatever, your volatile magic, like destructive wave just or disintegrate, you point and it blows up, or hellish rebuke, or mirror image, you just like boom, done. Vital expenditure, that is a really, really fascinating idea of at first level you can use your hit die to roll to add to a attack check or saving throw your own, or when an enemy does a skill check, attack, or saving throw, or you force a saving throw on another, you can subtract it, and you spend the hit die, and so you can't really recover that until a long rest, which is really cool because you can't like. It's not that it kills you, but it hurts you, but it like it's another resource. Power Siphon at 6th level. That's really cool. You can expend your hit die. No, you don't expend hit die, but you take damage in order to generate sorcery points, which are really nice. Only up to your sorcerer level, which is really cool. Then Arcane Metabolism, that's really, really cool because you spend a sorcerer point and a hit die, so 2 different resources to heal yourself as an action, which is a number of hit points equal to the number you rolled plus your charisma and constitution modifiers. So 2 separate modifiers that should be relatively high here. Charisma being your spellcasting, constitution being another saving throw that you get, and it really helps with concentrating on spells and keeping your hit points up. So 2 pretty powerful, pretty big modifiers and a d6. So it could be like 10 plus a d6, so it's a total of 16, but this is at 6th level, so it really helps the survivability of this subclass. Volatile Vitality doesn't say if you're hitting, looks like you don't hit yourself, but it's just like a Nova Blast around you, expending your sorcery points. Which is really cool. And the more you expend, the bigger, the more powerful, the greater the effect. It does force damage. So 1d6 for each, max of basically 20 d6. And from that is a 30-foot radius. People are thrown 15 feet away. They're knocked prone and they're stunned. So they're just like out of the battle. Until the start of your next turn, which is really cool. And then you can only use it once, but you regain the use after you recover hit points using hit die. So maybe with a short rest? I don't know. That sounds a little weird. But once you use a hit die in order to recover hit points, then you can do it. Maniac's Toll is really cool because once you go down, it's like one last power surge before you die. And you can your Power Siphon, which you can regain sorcery points, and then and you can regain sorcery points, but you're immune to the damage, so you don't deal any damage, and you don't use sorcery points for meta magic, which is really cool. And then after that, you're 0, unconscious, and you fail a saving throw. I think that's a good, a good balance for this. And then you can't use it until you finish a long rest, which makes sense at higher levels. So yeah, this is, I don't think there's anything too overpowered or underpowered. I think it's really well balanced. It's got some powerful features, but it's also balanced by some really good resources that you can use that will hurt you in the long run. So this is, so let me know what you think of this Sorcerer subclass. I think it's really cool. If you, let me know if there's something that you think I should talk about or mention, or I shouldn't mention, or something that should be changed, or something that a detail you really enjoyed about this. Let me know. Comment down below. Feel free to like and comment and subscribe. Join me next week where we go to the Warlock. This is called the Pact of the Soul King's Son, and it is about your pact with basically like a magic sentient bow, which should be a really interesting, like a archer warlock, which should be fascinating in its own right. So join me next week for that. I think previous episode and the channel subscription previous episode was Rogue Nullblade, about really dealing damage against magic users, which is really cool, or hurting them in various ways, which is really cool. Like, comment, subscribe. Join me next week for the Warlock. That should be amazing. And I'll see you next week. This idiot out.